Well, to call to aggressions and invasions, it is a cowardly act. I'm going to say something, and I'm going to repeat it because I've been listening by my colleagues, not just me. For those people arrived to the political power of Venezuela, we need to remember that memory exists, the individual and collective memory prevails. Who of those people who have been calling for invasions, who have been traitors to their country, that have been calling for criminal sanctions and economic genocide, who of those people can legitimately lead the destiny of a country? And I'm saying this from here, from the Bolivarian Armed Forces, as a soldier. The Bolivarian Armed Forces, you can interpret this as you like. We are not going to allow here a government that is going to bend its knee and be a slave of the interests of the United States of America. Never again. Slaves, never again. We are a free country. We have been building up through a lot of effort and sacrifices, and we are facing the worst threat in over 100 years, the military threat, the deployment, the aerial and naval deployment getting closer to Venezuelan coasts. We are here, unbreakable, decided and determined to keep defending every inch of our sovereignty, and that is why we are being prepared on a daily basis. You see the exercise that was launched by President Nicolás Maduro, Independence 200, the defense of the coastline, that has been postponed for extended to 72 hours because it is a very interesting action and requires time, and since we are very conscious about this exercise, it needs more attention, it takes more time and needs more resources to fulfill the task. So we are honored, and to all of those people who are calling for invasions and are calling for war, cannot call themselves nothing else but ignorance. To call for war is an imbecile act from an ignorance, sublime ignorance, because you don't know. Those who are calling for war have no idea of what that means. Us, that we study war, we reject it. Under any circumstance, we do not want war, and not here in Venezuela, not in the world. We want peace, and we have been prepared, and that people that handed their arms to us is to protect peace. We do not like war. We are warriors, but we are pacifists. We love peace, and those people, those cowards, those traitors to the homeland that keep calling for invasions of Venezuela, well, stay there, playing your dirty role, your role of imbeciles, of slaves, of lovers of the chains of their masters. And here we are going to keep defending our homeland as true patriots that we are, and we need to be braves. Let them be cowards. We are going to be brave. Minister, another interesting question for the Venezuelan people. We would like to know your opinion regarding everything that is happening, not just in Venezuela, but in the world. And we are speaking in this context of what I have to do with the new administration of the government of the United States, of course, who has been conducting several actions to destabilize the country, but also to harm the Bolivarian Armed Forces. We would like to know regarding your statements they've tried to keep harm this homeland, and who else than you, Minister, to speak to Venezuelan the people. Precisely, we have several aspects in here. This is no news. The Venezuelan democracy have been under threat for over 1/4 of a century. The constitution that we have of this country, a political project, carries an economic and political and social project, a project of homeland, and it speaks on the co-responsibility between state and society. It is a marvelous thing, and as of that, we have been in a situation, in a permanent situation of initiative and offensive, but to defend ourselves from the imperial aggression. That deployment on the Caribbean Sea is combined with all the actions that pretend to undergo in the internal part of the country. Look how rude they are. They are not even caring about the ways of announcing that the CIA is going to conduct covert operations in the country. Well, the CIA is everywhere. It doesn't matter if there are embassies or not. The CIA is always there, undergoing actions to respond to the interests of the U.S. Here, Venezuela is no exception. Every coup d'etat in Latin America, the coup d'etat that was given to President Hugo Chavez in 2002, the CIA was present in there, playing a key role in that coup. And we know that they are operating, and we are seeing the military front threat visible, deployed in the Caribbean, and all the potential actions of destabilization, of terrorism, to divide the country, to divide the Bolivarian armed forces, as you mentioned, to divide the Bolivarian armed forces. Well, if there's something that these aggressions have succeeded, is to see a country that is more united by day, Bolivarian armed forces more cohesion, with more combat purpose, with more strength, greater patriotism, more united as well. And all of the national state is also compromised with the defense of the country. That means that if in something these actions succeeded, we can point to in this special moment is that we have today a state with a firm leadership that is head by President Nicolás Maduro in his institutions, in the police, military, and popular union. So we are going to be very attentive. We are vigilant of everything that is happening in the world, in the region, in the Caribbean, and of course, inside our country. So we are going to be very attentive. Thank you very much. Those were the statements of the Minister of Defense of the country.